This morning, as I was getting ready for the service, I was given a gift. And one of the people that are here today decided they wanted to help me out as I wore my mask. You know the fogging thing when you wear your mask and you wear glasses? Yeah, so he gave me a defogger this morning. And wouldn't you know, I don't have to wear the mask. I still have to wear the glasses so I can read what's in front of me. But I appreciate that, but it was too little, too late, as they say.
Maybe it'll work on memory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nothing from the peanut gallery this morning. Yeah, nothing. Well, I also have to make an announcement that I was detained this morning, and I come to practice and all that, and of course Nick knows that I came very late. And so I just put on the first thing that I had. So I didn't come dressed as the Villagemissions wants me to, okay? So I'm wearing this, and this is not by choice. Well, but I do want you to know that I have never worn this shirt. It's a brand new shirt. Brand new. Huh? Well, no. But I did wear brand new shoes too. I've never worn these. So the shoes are new, good for this morning, okay? Because you all know you have to come as proper as you feel necessary, correct? Okay, you're not going to bring me. You're not going to come to this church and wear your worst set of clothes, are you? You're going to wear your holy jeans, and literally your holy jeans. And a shirt or a blouse or a dress that is appropriate for the occasion. So I am still trying to look proper in church. I never try not to. I honestly, and I know I make mistakes. I know that because at least one or two said, "Wow, he looks pretty bad today." I don't have to listen because look at how he's dressed. And you think I'm kidding? There are people that do that in service. He's not dressed right. I'm not going to listen to the Word of God, and that's really few and far between, but it does happen. So there, I got all my excuses out of the way here. So,
Pastor,
yeah.
Pastor, it doesn't matter, Pastor, because I don't know one person here that doesn't love you and you really care.
Well, I know one. Maybe two.
We love you, Pastor.
That was a joke. Okay, don't take me. You know, I appreciate it, Jesse. You've always been that open with me about things like that. You're a good guy. Okay? At least today you are. So, we are studying Azariah. So if you're not used to saying Azariah, which we heard this morning that's kind of a difficult name to say Uzziah. Who is Uzziah? Huh? Azariah. So if Uzziah is easier to say in your mouth, say Uzziah, because that's who it is. It's Uzziah. And where have we seen his name? Other than here in 2 Chronicles 26. Because you'll see in 2 Chronicles 26, his name is Uzziah. Okay? The same guy, the king. Why is he significant? Other than the books that we're studying, the Kings and the Chronicles. Why is he so important? Good. I got something to teach you. Isaiah chapter 6. When Isaiah had that glorious vision, when Isaiah said, "My lips are unclean, touch them, burn them." Who did he mention? Uzziah. he was what? He just died. On the year that Uzziah died, I got this vision. Now, it wasn't because Uzziah died that God was going to bless Isaiah with a vision. That's not what I'm going here. But Uzziah was living at the time that Isaiah was living. In fact, they had 10 years to cross paths. Do you think they did? The prophet, the big guy, the big cheese, and the king, Uzziah? Yeah, it's almost for sure that they did. Because the king had to hear the words of the prophets of the day, whether he liked it or not. And that is important. That Uzziah heard from Isaiah, who heard from God. Now, when you hear from God, is that important for your life? Is it just a cavalier thing that happens when God speaks in your heart and he asks you to do something or to be somewhere or to have a certain kind of heart? It's life-changing, isn't it? Whether the message from God is one that you want to receive or not, it's always life-changing. In this day and age, in this country, we better, as Christians, try to listen to God every time something happens in our nation. And because what's happened in our nation affects your family life too. Whether you are watching and observing what's going on in the country, it will affect you. This whole thing with masks, whether to wear them or not for the last, year? I don't know how long it's been. Has it affected you in some way? Absolutely. Whether you were listening to what is being said about wearing masks, it does affect your life in so many ways. As pastor, on this end of it, with the whole mask thing, I've not confronted, but I have been exposed to people that are on one side of the aisle and the other side. I'm not talking political, just about masks, okay? Wear them or don't wear them. And pastor, you better be on my side. Now, they don't say it like that, but that's what they're saying. That's hard on pastor, believe it or not. I was so fortunate because I wasn't asked to wear a certain color mask. Wow, what a relief. And I wasn't asked to wear a Christian mask. Wow, what a relief. We have to listen to God. We have to let God bring, figuratively, prophets in our lives. And by the way, Ralph Brown, there's a prayer meeting at 12. It was announced. It's at 12 o'clock. So if I go over and it's 12 and God is telling you, you go there, you go there. And he was an acquaintance of mine. He was another coffee guy like I am at the coffee shop. So I knew him on that level. We did this all the time and smiled and talked about house retirement. So he probably thought I was at retirement because I probably looked like I should be in retirement. In fact, I thought he looked better than me. Uzziah, as Matthew read the story, Uzziah, guess who was very significant there in the chapter 2 Kings 15? And this is, it could be more than one, because to me the significant one was one person especially. Who do you think I'm thinking of right now?
The son?
Huh?
The son?
You got it wrong.
Oh.
You know what? I'm going to give you a red mark for that one.
Okay.
And only because that's your opinion, and you should be with my opinion, okay? He's wrong, but he's not wrong. His mama, Jechaliah, or however you pronounce that. It's an L in there. Why do I say that? Well, he didn't have a dad, right? His dad was killed in Lachish, right? Murdered, or at battle. Some people, he wasn't in battle, but it was opposing forces, and he was in Lachish at the time, running for his life, and they found him. So he was pretty much raised by Mama. Now, isn't Mama an important person? Who does Mama think is a lot of times primary in her life? Now, husbands, you're important, but in this case, huh? Her child. If you have children, isn't that child important to you? And as I look at you, and grandchildren, and some of you, and great-grandchildren. We got them all here. They're represented today. Uzziah was king for 52 years. And who was there? Mama! And the prophets, but Mama. Don't you think that Uzziah heard a lot of stuff from Mom over the years? Don't you think he formulated his ideology, his philosophy, and how he would be in the kingdom because of Mother? She's important. And you know what's so good about this? What did God say about Uzziah? In both in Kings and Chronicles. Uzziah was right in the sight of who? Yeah. That's good, isn't it? And Mother was there for a good portion of that. It doesn't tell us when she died, but don't you think that she gets a gold star because of what God said about Uzziah? If God were here today and he spoke to you and he said, you know, your son or daughter is right in my sight, how would it make you feel? As a father, if God were to come to Cheryl and say that about my kids, I'd be weeping as a father. I'd be smiling. I'd be, in the Christian sense, I would be in jubilation. I'm trying to make sure that we close so that you guys can go and not feel bad, okay? Then the person or persons know who I'm talking to. He began at 16. But do you think he had any marbles up there at that in terms of running a kingdom at 16? No. Mama. And what did this king accomplish? He built towers to fortify Jerusalem. What were the towers used for? Well, to see the enemy. To make sure that nobody would come into Jerusalem to cause havoc of any kind. So apparently they weren't there at the time, were they? He expanded, I like this one, agriculture. How many of you miss food one time or one day in your life? Have you ever? Now, those are, you fasters, I'm not including you, okay? Okay? You are the righteous ones, okay? So I'm not including you. That's not, I'm kidding there. Just because you fast doesn't mean you're a good guy or girl, okay? You might do it just because you think you're good. But we don't fast. We don't skip a meal, do we? Oh, we skip meals, but we don't skip a whole day of meals, do we? I don't. I was doing 4 a day, and now I'm doing 2. Because agriculture is so good, isn't it? There are so many ways to have a bumper crop now, right? And now, you go to Safeway and you got a choice of organic or the hothouse tomatoes or the other ones. I buy the ones that are on the cheaper side, but not the very best ones. I buy either the middle road or the cheap ones, and they're just as good. But agriculture, he expanded that. People were happy because he did that. They were eating. Not only agriculture, the old word is, he was really concerned with husbandry. And I'm not talking about human husbands, okay? But he should have been concerned about them too, okay? Some husbands, what is husbandry? It's used today too, but what is that? Animal junky stuff, raising cows, sheep, birds, all that stuff. And that's important in our life, right? There's so much you do with animals. He did that. He expanded that. He really improved the military defense. Fortresses, not only in Jerusalem, but other places. And he was building an army with officers in line, and the message got from the top to the bottom. And these warriors were trained with the state-of-the-art military equipment, whatever that is. Swords, spears, armor. And then he also, I guess, maybe, I'm not sure on this, but in the towers, he created or had people create launchers. You know what those are, right? These machines that can get to the enemy from a distance. Wow, he did all that. He was a man of honor. However, he acted unfaithfully. He did something, you might think, Why would God be concerned with that? You know what he did? He went into the temple of God and burned incense, which only the priest could do. But that signified something. It symbolized something. And what was that? He was becoming a proud man and reaching for more power that he shouldn't have had. We all have that problem, don't we, at times? I need more power. And you go in places where you shouldn't be. And he was at that very place. And you know, that really is a life, is evidence of a life that has a flaw, which we all have, don't we? But this was very significant. He was the king. And he shouldn't be doing what the priest should do. And he did it. And that was his downfall. The unfortunate result, he couldn't go back to the temple to visit. He lived in a separate house, not the house of God or the palace. He lived outside that because he contracted leprosy. And that was a part of God's doing. Did you know that? God can bring injury to you for your glory, for your help. He doesn't do it to hurt you. He does it to refine you, to make you a better person who trusts in the only true God. He died of leprosy. I still don't think that's a sad story, because I believe if he's been the king for 52 years and he had a mom that loved him and watched out for him and made sure that even the priest would help and educate him, like Isaiah, that's a good life. And he was buried with David and that whole line of Davidic kings. That's honor. Yes. Azariah, Uzziah, same guy. Good man, good life. And I hope every one of you end up on your deathbed saying, yes, God was good to me. Even with the bad times, God was good to me. Live by that principle. That's the way we as Christians should live. Music.